What's going on, everyone? So I'm Hayden. I've been selling for about 4 years now in the UK and the USA. Not that long in both, but yeah, I've been selling on Amazon for about 4 years. And here's what I would do if I was starting again. So we should do around about 70,000 this month in both stores, and a lot more big plans for the end of Q4. So, right, what would I do if I was starting again? A lot of people ask me this, right? And it depends on many variables, right? But I'm going to let you know exactly my mindset around this. I would either decide if I was going to do high volume and low margins in certain models, hit them really hard, or do high margins, lower volume. Okay, so small margins, higher volume, or higher margins, lower volume. Okay, now over here with the higher margins, lower volume stuff I'm talking about is like, exclusive private label stuff, like bulky stuff, for example, or like bundles, etc., like that sort of thing. Over here I'm talking like online arbitrage, especially in the UK, but in many ways, it's small margins, or like just general vanilla wholesale, for example, where it's smaller margins. Okay, so I would be deciding which one I was going to do, knowing well that there's no correct answer. Okay, there's no one model that's better than the other, though I used to think there was. There's no one model that's better than the other, but you're going to have faster growth in a lot of areas for certain models than you are in others. Okay, so for example, the stability that you may have with bundles, for example, with higher margins, you've got that instantly replenishable items if they're a successful thing. Okay, you could put a bit of advertising on the correct item. You could launch it, you could make £5-6 per sale, and you can replenish that for years to come. That can happen. Excuse me. That can happen, right? But you've got to launch products. A lot of them are not going to work out. You're going to launch some products, not all of them are going to work out, but you can keep launching products. Some are going to work, some are not going to work. It's going to take a while to get really big growth, and that's talking from experience, okay? But when you do get a good bundle, it can sell really consistently, you can make good profit, and you can have quite a stable income. Okay, so that's some good pros and cons for that. Over here with the online arbitrage / wholesale thing, less stable because you get a lot of price tanking. Okay, less stable in my opinion. It feels a little bit more up in the air. However, you can just launch hundreds of SKUs at a time if you've got the cash flow to do this. You can launch hundreds of products at a time. You can just send in multiple little products, even if they're making like £1 profit, 50p profit. If you've got the money to facilitate that, then you can just launch hundreds of products, loads of different SKUs. You have unlimited growth, right? You have unlimited growth, and you can just keep launching products under that with high volume, lower margins. But obviously the con to that, okay, is that it's high cash flow intensive, okay, and you could get risk of IP violations on quite a lot of items, and some people just can't handle the price tanking because a lot of items you might end up losing money on. But for the most part, as long as you're doing volume, you should make money. You just got to look out for prep fees and stuff like that. Which one would I pick? Honestly, if I was starting again, I would go for the first one, which is the arbitrage / wholesale. Now, I did do arbitrage to start with, but I never gave it enough growth to hit it hard. I would stick with it. I got wound up by the price tanking, but you don't have to let that be the case. You can hit it really, really hard. Understand that you're going to do low margins. Like, you might even make 8% net margin after all costs. It's not. I used to think that was terrible. It's not actually that bad. You just need volume with that. If you think about a company like Tesco, I think they're working like a 3% net profit margin. But because they've got such scale, it works. Now, I'm not recommending everyone goes and just does this straight away. It's not the right model for everyone, but it can work. And for me, I need to see that constant growth month after month. So me being in the model that I'm in, which a lot of the stuff I do is bundles over here, which is the slower selling, but more consistent, reliable model, I've come to a realization recently that it's probably held my growth back, and that's just being honest, because you miss out on things like cashback a lot. You miss out on things like cashback. You miss out on things like credit card points a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I still do online arbitrage. I do it in the USA, but we don't spend that much. I probably spend $5,000 a week or something on stock. Now, it may sound like a lot to a lot of people, but it's not that much. You know, we should be spending 20, 30, 40, 50,000 by now, because I've been doing this for almost 4 years. The reason we're not is because I've been in a model, stable as it may be with the bundles, it's limited. Because it can only grow as fast as I can launch bundles. And if you want to launch good bundles, you can't do them that fast unless you've got a team. And to have a team, I'd have to outlay $2,500, $3,000 a month on a staff member and a little office for them to work out. So look, both models work, but to start with, you need to decide what model you're going to go for, understanding that there's not right or wrong. If you want more stable and secure, you might want to go for bundles. If you want to go for big growth with more risks, you might want to go over here for the arbitrage and the wholesale. Now, once I'd decided on one of them, I would work really hard to scale them up. And then to the next level, I would start trying to do this. I would start building my own brands. With the cash flow that I had left over, I wouldn't be paying myself that much, but if I had cash flow left over, which you probably would if you were doing it well, I would start investing that into my own private label product brands. Okay, like really spending some time on launching a quality brand where you see an actual gap in the market, not just trying to launch some crappy private label product, but actually spending some time launching a real brand that you have a valid interest in. Okay, and then on top of that, and then also instead of that, so you either do the brands thing, focus on that, or you try and start getting some exclusivity with some of the brands that you're currently working with. You try and get some exclusivity so you're the only person that's allowed to sell certain brands. That's when you start to get some real value in your company. You're either doing private label or you've got the exclusive rights to sell brands. When you have the exclusive rights to sell brands, you have value of your company. Your company starts to have value because you're no longer just selling products on Amazon. You know, in arbitrage form, you have exclusivity with brands, which gives you a lot more value. And some of them brands might want to buy you one day, because you're a free P for them companies. You're a crucial part of their company if you shift enough items, because you're their access, you're their knowledge to the Amazon platform. But yeah, that's what I would focus on, and then just wholly go hard on them and scale it into a company doing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. That's exactly what I'm doing now, guys. Like, I'm doing the exclusive rights sort of stuff, and I'm doing the private label stuff. This is literally what I'm working on right now, along with what I'm doing. Like, I'm practicing what I'm preaching right now. This is what I would do now. The reason I did this video is because if I could start again, I'd do this so much quicker. I kick myself, you know. I would get into the model that gives me the fastest growth, the fastest possible growth, and not let my ego get in the way, you know. And then I would start getting into doing either exclusivity with brands or private label, and then really stick with that. And I mean really stick with that and get it big. That's what I would do in 2023 if I was starting again. And I am starting to do a lot more of this stuff now. I just wish I did it sooner. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, see you in the next video.